Prey is the latest entry in the highly acclaimed Predator franchise. Prey follows the story of a young girl named Naru, attempting to realize her dream of becoming a hunter for her Comanche tribe. Despite her family and leaders forcing her into more traditional gender roles of caretaking, medicine, and shit I'd much rather do. Meanwhile, there's a motherfucking predator out there, fighting bears and shit. Love it. I really like this movie. I'm not gonna pretend to be some fervent Predator fanboy. I only saw Predator 1 and 2 in the last 2 years, and they were okay. Predator 1 does a good job at building suspense and feeling like a horror movie wearing an action movie disguise. Predator 2 was alright. I like some of the lore building they did in that one, but I still take umbrage with Danny Glover beating a Yautja in hand-to-hand combat. As a side note, I think the Predator has the persistent problem of being not that scary in the films, at least by modern standards. It feels like every movie I see him in, you can just grab any standard guy off the street, and he stands a reasonable chance of just beating the bag out of a Yautja. A fucking regular beat cop just beats a Predator in hand-to-hand combat. The last time that happened, it took an intercompany crossover and this fantastic cover art to get it done. As a side note to my side note, the Predator comics from Dark Horse really elaborate on the lore and have some cool stuff going on. I wish the movies would bring more of that stuff to bear, because it would go a long way to dispelling my sentiment about the Predator. He's just getting jobbed constantly. Oh yeah, and people say, oh, the Yautja are all about honor and martial pride. The guy's invisible with laser beams and hover tech and still gets his ass kicked every single film. I don't buy it. And yeah, I know he allegedly killed all those elite squads before Arnold fucked him up. If this is the caliber of the tactics the elite squad were using, that makes sense. I'd feel different if the Predator won his films, and I think he does in Alien vs. Predator, but I haven't given that a watch yet. Yeah, I'm probably not the guy who should make a Predator movie review, huh? But yeah, the Predator in this movie feels far scarier than the other entries I've seen. I've always hated the clunky looking hands and feet of the Predator. Look at these Ryu feet. They never seem to get the proportions quite right, but they nailed it in this one. I don't typically hold practical effects as the be-all end-all, but this suit looks to be practical, and it looks good. Way better than the original in my opinion. This Predator is a nasty looking, and is definitely my favorite one in both looks and actions. I really love the skull helmet. Michael Vincent designed the helmet and creature, and he has some awesome behind-the-scenes photos on his Twitter. Link in the description. What this movie does really well is portray the main two characters, Naru and her brother, I can't remember the name of, as being reasonable people. They each have their own distinct goals that are in conflict with each other, which make for some good drama throughout the film. I especially like the dynamic that the older brother is the tribe hunter and enjoys the accolades that come from it. Later in the film, when she joins the hunting party, you get this sense of latent conflict, and you're a bit unsure of his motives, honestly, which makes for an interesting conflict. Some of the supporting characters fell a little flat to me, and some of the acting is a bit classic high school Comanche bully, but they aren't really central, so I don't care much. I really like that this movie took the approach of making Naru not that great of a hunter, honestly, but she's an excellent strategist. We watch her fail over and over and over again until she makes a realization about her own self that enables her to get closer to her goal. And that is some good screenwriting. We watch the journey of becoming a hunter instead of just being given a character who's already great at everything with no room for growth and no challenges along the way. That's how you do a great character, in my opinion. She has a clear goal, she has a clear goal, she has a major flaw, and a hidden strength.
These were the ingredients chosen to create.
She wants nothing more in the world than to become a hunter, but she's too ambitious. But she is very observant. By utilizing her gift in intelligence and strategy, she's able to come close to her goal time and time again, but her ambition is a bit beyond her scope at first. The movie did a great job at implying the power of friendship without straight up saying it. She tries time and time again to hunt things on her own, but it just isn't in the cards for her yet. Once she starts listening to her brother and working together with him, utilizing his strengths to her advantage, she's able to realize her full potential. A lot of the drama in the movie carries a lot more weight because of her weaknesses and how she chooses to overcome them, like a good character. The fight scenes in this are fucking great. The Predator feels the most rabid and dangerous he's ever felt. And although I critique the Predator for getting his ass kicked in every movie, this Predator is just built different. I really like that they have to use some serious strategy to even put a dent in him. And although there are characters that attempt to fight him hand to hand, Danny Glover style, it doesn't boil down to just fist fight and Shawn Michaels levels of selling the ouches hits. These are hunters, and the choreography feels raw and right. This is where Naru shines, actually, as she uses his tech against him, uses the French's tech against him, sets traps, exploits weaknesses that she's observed, works with her brother, notices certain attributes about the berries and herbs. It's all good stuff, and it feels better written than some of the other Predator films to me. I also like that the Predator in this has slightly different tech and is utilizing it in creative ways. I really enjoy that he just absolutely brutalizes people. Giving him less advanced tech was a really nice touch. He really slots into this 1700 setting nicely. I also appreciated the second act where the French show up. I just completely forgot the French existed, just in general. But yeah, I thought they were a good like second antagonistic force for this film. I also like that they were attempting to kill the Predator like fur trappers would back then, using bait. That was some nice perfunctory screenwriting that a lesser movie would have missed, probably. I initially was gonna critique this movie that it had segments in it that were just way too fucking dark, but on watching it again on my monitor here, I think it was just the TV I was initially watching it on. The nighttime scenes were a little bit hard to discern for me, but with how many scenes are set during the daytime, I can't complain too much. I really like those scenes especially. More movies should have the confidence to just set scenes at daytime or brightly lit nighttime. Pacific Rim had the gall, and I respect it. The other main critique I have about the film is some slight, editing sloppiness. Mainly, I wish a few shots would have lingered just a little bit longer, or we were given a little bit more time to process what was going on, especially on those darker scenes. On a second watch, a lot of these things were clearer to me, but that was just my initial impression. From here on out, I'm going to go into spoilers on a few things I want to talk about. You can go to this timestamp for my final thoughts. I was initially unsure how she got his helmet to fire at the end, but upon rewatching that scene, I put it together that the wrist rockets will auto-aim to whatever target is in view. I didn't fully pick that up the first time. They do establish this earlier when the Ouch is about to fire on the dog and the brother knocks his helmet off, but I just wasn't certain on my first watch through. I also didn't see how the hell she was able to get out of this scene in the first time I watched it. I saw she stabbed him with something, but how? Now I realize that she grabbed his little cute tusk and stabbed him with it, which is sick. I'd also like to mention the ending scene real quick. I thought Naru bringing the head and the flintlock pistol back were great, but that flintlock pistol. Oh, that flintlock pistol. The fact she has that at the end of this movie, and the Predators in Predator 2 have it 200 years later, it doesn't bode very well for the fate of the Comanche and Naru and her tribe. I also like the potential link to Billy in Predator 1. What if Billy was a descendant of the Comanche tribe, and the Predator was part of the lore that gets passed down through the ages? That'd be a cool plot point. I think with the deviation from the comic book lore, with the flintlock pistol and stuff, why not, right? Overall, Prey was awesome. I rate things out of 5 where 1 is unwatchable and 5 is top tier content. And Prey falls firmly at a 4 for me. It understands its audience, it has plenty of well-executed setups and payoffs, the main characters are well written, and the action scenes are well done. It also honors the lore in a satisfying way, at least for a casual Predator watcher. There is some less than stellar acting, some nebulous editing, and a few scenes that the lighting made it a little bit hard to decipher, but those are minor technical complaints. It's definitely the best entry in the Predator franchise in my opinion, as someone who isn't a super Predator fanboy. The design of the creature is one of the coolest looking movie monsters I've just straight up ever seen. I'd recommend this movie if you want a breath of fresh air for those small-scale action/horror movies. I hope they don't make a direct sequel to this, but I'd rather they show us Predators throughout time, like in other points in history. I think there's now a high bar set for future Predator films, so I'd be really curious to see what else comes our way in the future. This one was careful to avoid certain tropes and walked its tightrope really well. I'll be excited to see if Dan Trachtenberg returns for future installments. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leave a comment down below. Leave a like if you want more stuff like this, and subscribe if you're especially interested in more stuff like this. I want to hear what you guys think. What did you think of Prey? Leave your comment down below. Let me know. Thanks for watching. Till next time.